I'm like, all right, let me walk out this bathroom and just pop it off because I'm ready to go. Hello. Welcome back. So, I figured last time I did a story time, I was in my room and stuff like that. So this time, we're going to do a story ride. Where you ride with me as I'm telling the story. You know, pretty simple, clear as day. Keep up. Okay. So with this story time, this is like more on the scandalous side. Like, I did not think this was going to happen to me. I didn't think nothing of it. I didn't think it was going to become bigger than what it was. So basically, I went to college in Fayetteville, North Carolina. Now, one thing a lot of people may not know about Fayetteville, North Carolina is it is a military town. And it's full of a lot of military men. This dude's playing mad music next to me. So I'll wait. These niggas be gay. Why you staring at my face?
You are gay.
So I'm on campus and they're having like this event where a lot of the military people were coming and they were trying to get people to like register for them and everything. And I was walking out of the CAF. Mind you, this is my freshman year of college. So I'm like, okay, I'm not interested in the military, but I know somebody who is. So I'm like, okay, they're not here, they're in class. Let me grab the paper for them because they've been talking about dropping out to go to the military. I'm like, all right, let me go ahead and get them the little information for the people to pretty much recruit them.
Why'd you join the Navy?
For the bitches.
Okay. And I went up to the table and there was a dude and like two girls. And then there was another dude like standing by them, like on the side. And I walked up and stuff like that. I got the things and they thought it was like for me, of course. Why wouldn't they? They're asking me like a lot of questions. I'm answering the questions, you know, whole 9 yards. And I remember like having a conversation with the girls, but not like too much. It was mostly the men that were like asking most of the questions. So from there, I got all the information from them and I gave it to my friend. Maybe about 2-3 hours later, I'm leaving class and I'm getting ready to go to the CAF. Everybody knows they go to the CAF, you know, in between classes, whether it's to be social, to eat, whatever. And I see one of the dudes that was at the table. Now he's in the CAF eating. And y'all, do not get mad at me for not looking in the camera a majority of this video, because y'all was in my DMs talking about me not looking in the camera last time because I was eating. But now I'm driving. So it's like, I got to keep my eyes focused on the road. So shut up. He like grabs his food or whatever and he's like sitting not too far away from me. But you know that vibe where you like, damn, I know somebody's looking at me. Like I knew shorty was looking at me. So I'm like, all right. He ended up like doing like one of these, like tossing it like oh, like, what's up? So I was like, what's up? And then he did like this to me. So I'm looking at my friends or whatever. I'm like, all right, I'll be right back. So I walk over to the table. Mind you, he was attractive. So I'm still not thinking nothing of it. I don't think the dude is interested in me in any shape or form. I'm still not thinking nothing of it. He's like, oh, what are you doing after classes and stuff like that today? Oh, are you trying to go to the movies? I said, for real? He was like, yeah, me and a couple of our friends are getting ready to go to watch the movie that was coming out around that time or something like that. And I'm like, oh, okay. If you want to, you know, like slide through or whatever, you know, you could come with us. I'm like, okay. But mind you, I could tell they're like in their 30s and all that stuff. So it was like, why would y'all want to hang out with a little ass boy? So I'm like, okay, yeah, I don't mind going to see a movie. I haven't been to the movies out here in Fayetteville yet. Like, no biggie.
You punk ass fool. Why'd you summon me?
Please don't ask me, homie.
I'm like, well, how long you gonna be here? He said, why you ask that? I said, because I'm a freshman on campus. I don't have a car. Like, I can have my car on campus. And he was like, oh, okay, so what you saying, you need like a ride? I'm like, yeah, you inviting me out, nigga. You pretty much take me for a ride.
Period.
He was like, oh, yeah, we could do that. He ends up picking me up later that day, because it was like I finished all my classes, I hung out with my friends and stuff like that until it was time for him to pick me up. You know, your boy did his thing, I look all good and everything. I'm going to hang out with some grown and sexy military people. I get in the car, we're chopping it up, we're talking, we're having conversations, we're laughing about stuff. Like, he's just giving like real bro vibe. It was, I think, 2 girls that showed up. Now, one was one of the girls from earlier that day. I see them like holding hands, so I'm like, oh, this is one of the girls from earlier and this is her girlfriend. Like, duh, okay, I see, it makes sense. But I'm thinking in my head like, I hope this ain't like a double date. At that time, I was hot boying it out, so it was like, oh, dates and stuff like that ain't my type of thing. I'm still like, all right, well, I'm already here, might as well have a good time, make my money's worth. I get ready to pull out my wallet and stuff like that to show my ID, because at the time I had no facial hair, no nothing. I was fresh out of high school. I could be clocked as like a little boy. So the ID that I was using was my school ID, because if I show a college ID, then they automatically assume that I'm 21 and stuff. Like, that's how I was using stuff to get into clubs and everything. Like, I would use my college ID instead of my state ID. Okay, I'm about to go and park. As I'm getting ready to pay for my ticket, he pulls his wallet out and is like, nah, it's okay, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And he pays for it. And then he shows like his little military ID and everything. And they're like, oh, okay, well, yeah, you got a discount and stuff. So the tickets ended up being like really, really cheap for him. We're sitting down in the movie. It was like a comedy or something like that, because I remember like all of us laughing. Now, I can't remember exactly what movie it was. I think I was a little tipsy. He kept on like putting his hand like on my lap and like all this other stuff, like just, you know, like real flirtatious vibes while we were actually in the movie. Okay, let's see where it goes. After the movie, mind you, the 2 girls that was with us, they end up getting in their car and they leaving and stuff like that. He's supposed to be taking me back to campus. He's like, you ready to go back to campus? I'm like, I mean, honestly, I don't really care. Like, if you still want to hang out, we can hang out. I'm like, where you want to go to next? I'm thinking we're about to go to like another place. It's still kind of early. It's like maybe like 9 o'clock at this point. So I'm like, okay, well, where we about to go next or whatever, blah, blah, blah. He's like, well, we can go back to my house and kick it. I'm like, okay. He's like, but you do have your ID on you, right? Because mind y'all, I used my student ID at first to try to get my ticket and stuff. And I was like, yeah, I got my regular ID on me. And he was like, okay, because we about to go on a base. And I'm like, base, like the military base? He was like, yeah, I live on base. I'm like, ooh, I ain't never been on the military base before, so this might be fun. So now I'm a little excited to see like what the military base is pretty much about to give. So we get to the little thing, they check my ID, they give me like a little pass to get past everything. He's showing me around Fort Bragg and stuff, you know, different places that him and like co-workers and friends and stuff like that go to and have a good time at. I'm like, all right, this is lit. Like, I like the scenery and everything. And then we end up pulling up to his house, and we pull up to his house, and we're in there. He's pouring me liquor and stuff like that, and he's telling me like, oh, don't worry about how much you drink or whatever the case may be, because you know, you're gonna be in the house and stuff like that, and you're not driving. Like, I'll drive you back and stuff like that. I'm not gonna drink as much. But I'm thinking in my head like, you're trying to get me drunk for a reason, so I'm not gonna drink as much. And I was basically telling him like, oh, you know, I'm already drunk earlier today and stuff like that. I'm not a heavy drinker, so I don't want to drink too much and stuff. And he respected it. But I did end up drinking anyway, because it was me at the time, and everybody knows how I was giving it up at that time. But I was still able to like control handle my liquor. I was on my hot boy shit. So, you know, little conversations led to us like sitting down on the couch. We're starting to like get like closer and stuff like that. He's again putting his hand on my lap while I'm talking. He's telling me how like cute I am, how attractive I am, like all this stuff. He's making like little height jokes at me, because he was like tall and like really like, he wasn't like too muscular built, but he had a nice like thickness to him, you know, being fit. He leaned in and tried to like kiss me, but I'm not a kisser. So it was like, I don't know how to kiss. I don't like to kiss. I don't like to kiss because I don't know how to kiss. So they kind of go hand in hand. Like, I don't know what it is, but I'm not a good kisser. And I like backed up, and he was like, don't be nervous. And I'm like, I'm not nervous, I just don't like kissing. He said, well, what do you like to do? And I answered a little something. So after what I said, we done got up from the couch and we started to head to his back room. We watching TV and stuff like that in there. Now I'm laying across like the bed. He's doing like a lot of like, you know, still touching on my thigh or like my leg, like little things like that, my arm and stuff, all of that. But now we're like a little cuddled up. I'm feeling comfortable. Nothing's really making me feel like, okay, well, don't do it. So I'm like, all right, well, wherever it leads is gonna lead. So it was like, as soon, we were like maybe like 20 minutes into like being in his room, and as soon as my mind was like okay with the idea of letting something pop off, y'all, we heard a car door shut.
Well,
So I'm like, but it was like close, like you could hear it close. So I'm just like, what was that? He was just like, oh, I don't see anything or whatever, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, all right, cool. So he lays back down in the bed, and I'm in my boxers. He's in his boxers, and we hear noises from the inside of the house now. So I'm like, is somebody here? He's like, what are you hearing? I'm like, you don't hear that. So when he started listening, he heard it too. And then he was like, oh, just go in my bathroom real quick or whatever. I'ma see like what's going on, whatever, blah, blah. So I'm like, all right. I go into the homeboy bathroom, and I'm thinking in my head like, you grown as hell. Why would you need me to go in the bathroom if somebody was in your house? And why is somebody in your house without you knowing anyway? You said you lived alone while we were talking and all this other stuff. I hear him talking, like the music and stuff like that is all like still playing. It's in the living room. The TV's playing in his room still. So it's like, it's kind of hard to hear over all of that's going on. So it's just like, okay. Because I already have ear problems in my right ear. So I don't always be hearing like the best. I'm like, all right, let me walk out this bathroom and just pop it off because I'm ready to go. So while I was in there, I had already ordered my Uber. So my Uber already being on the way, I'm like, this is the perfect time for me to just leave out and go on about my business. So I walk out when it said that my Uber was approaching. I walk out and I see a whole nother man or whatever there, or whatever, blah, blah, blah. He's looking at me like with the wide eyes, and I'm looking at this nigga with the wide eyes back like, what are you looking at? Like, what's going on? I think it's like another little hoe, whatever. Like, you know, he's a single man. One of his hoes popped up, and he's like, why he in my house? And at that point, I just froze. Like, I'm thinking this is a whole time I'm in his house. So I look at dude, and I'm like, so this ain't your house? He like, this is my house. He was like, it's both of our house. You know, but he said it like that, you know. I'm like, nah, I don't know. Like, what do I know? Like, who is this?
What? It's not adding up.
And the dude looked at me and was like, I'm his husband. I said, husband? Not boyfriend, not somebody you talking to. Your husband? You have a husband? Military niggas just ain't shit. He like, yeah, but as you can see, we both got our clothes on and stuff like that. Nothing was going down, nothing ain't happened. We was just chilling, we was just vibing or whatever. And the dude looked at me and was like, you telling me this little ass boy came to hang out with you? Because mind y'all, at the time, freshman year of college, no facial hair, no nothing. Like, I looked like I could have been in high school. I'm like, I'm not understanding why you had me come over here, chill with you or whatever, if you knew your husband was gonna come back anyway. And that's when the husband was like, he didn't know I was coming back. I was supposed to have been gone until Tuesday. Yeah, it was like a Friday. My Uber's outside. As they're arguing, I literally just grab my stuff and just walk outside.
Gotta do it. You don't have to worry about me. You do not have to worry about me.
The dude that picked me up and everything, he's like, oh, do you still need a ride? And then his husband go butt in and say, so you still trying to get this nigga a ride? Like what type of time are you on? I'm like, nah, I'm good. I said, my Uber outside already. I'm out. I ain't never talked to the dude again. After that, he kept on trying to like text me on Facebook Messenger. I just wasn't with it. And then this is where it got me. Like 2 months after that, the husband, the one that popped up, he added me on Facebook. But I had blocked old dude like after like the third time of him trying to hit me up.
Block. Delete. The fuck?
I didn't add him back. And then when I was on Messenger, I had a message request from him. And I had to like accept it to see like the screenshots and stuff. But I don't know why he felt like he had to confide in me about what he chose to do with his relationship, his marriage. But he was showing me how like him and the dude are getting divorced and like all this stuff. He heard about certain things and stuff like that. That's why he popped up. And basically what happened was somebody that we were with at the movies, one of the girls actually sent a Snapchat video to her story of all 4 of us, and he ended up seeing that and then got on the road and came back. So it's so crazy how that happened. And as we were talking about everything going on with his husband, because at that point I did text him back and stuff like that and was like, hey, I didn't know, you know, he had a husband. He's like, yeah, he came out and confessed everything to me and stuff like that because he didn't want there to be any drama between me and you. But like, you know, he was just cute, grown, and sexy, but it wasn't anything that I wanted to pursue in the long run. Like, I just got out of my own stuff, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I was in a relationship for 4 years, and he basically tried to flirt with me.
Oh, excuse me?
And then he called me, he tried to flirt with me, and I like dodged it a couple times. I'm just thinking, okay, well, maybe he's just overly friendly. And then he called me on Messenger, and when he called me on Messenger, we were on like this little it was like regular phone call because like video chat wasn't out yet, I don't think, but we were on the phone and stuff. And he was just being like extra flirtatious, for real, like for real. So then he was like, I'm sorry we met on these terms, I wish we could have met on better terms, and maybe we could have grew in our own direction, and like all this like weird ass shit. So, yeah, I ended up blocking his ass too.
Block. Delete. The fuck?
And I ain't never hear from them again. I ain't never see them again as long as I was in Fayetteville, and I went all 4 years of college. It is what it is, but that was the one and only time I ever like been in a situation where I almost did something with somebody's husband. But I just felt like giving y'all like a quick little story time. You know, like, comment, subscribe, share, do whatever. I don't care if you share it to your grandma, your neighbor, your dog, your teacher, your priest. Stay alive.